All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the ownership economy of on-chain intelligence. We are looking at a pretty radical shift in how your data contributions are actually valued across the digital landscape. Let's get right into it. So think about this for a second. Think about how much data you generate for free, literally every single day. We're talking scrolling, clicking, solving those endless CAPTCHAs. Yet for most of us, that effort just vanishes into the digital ether without a second thought. Well, our source poses a really provocative question about all that effort. What if the data sets you help build weren't treated as disposable labor? When we hear the word disposable, we usually think of like a paper cup or a napkin, right? Used once and tossed. But your human intelligence, the nuanced knowledge you're feeding into these systems, calling that disposable labor really forces us to confront an uncomfortable reality about how digital work is set up right now. It asks us to imagine a completely different setup, where your time and effort aren't just a fleeting transaction, but something with actual permanence. To understand where we're going, we kind of need to map out exactly where we're at. Right now, most platforms trap you in this really finite, disposable cycle. It's basically a three-step linear process. Step 1, you contribute. You do the work. You input the data. Step 2, you get paid once, just one single isolated transaction. And then step 3, you just move on. The cycle just ends for you right there. You are entirely disconnected from the product of your labor. That is the literal definition of the disposable labor we were just talking about. It keeps you on this perpetual hamster wheel of having to find new tasks just to make a buck, while completely ignoring what happens next to the data itself. But here is the critical pivot. What actually happens after you move on? There is a massive disconnect here, because the data set itself doesn't stop working. In fact, our source points out that these data sets keep generating immense value for years and years. How? Mainly through two massive avenues: AI training and real-world usage. Every time an AI model cycles through that data to learn and get smarter, value is extracted. Every time a real-world app uses it to solve a problem, value is created. That data is alive, it's working, and it's super valuable. But in the old model, you're completely cut off from it. The data works for years, but the person who helped build it only got paid for a single second in time. Okay, so how do we fix this? Enter Codeta. With this model, we're looking at a totally revolutionized 5-step engine for continuous value. Step 1 is exactly the same. You contribute. But step 2 is where the magic happens. The data set becomes an on-chain asset. It gets permanently and transparently recorded on a blockchain, making it secure and verifiable. Which leads right into step 3. You own fractional shares. You're not just a gig worker anymore. You're a recognized owner holding a piece of that asset. Then, step 4. Usage metrics trigger royalties. Remember all that long-term AI training we just talked about? Now, that usage is tracked and it automatically triggers a royalty payment straight back to you. And finally, step 5. Your value actually compounds over time. Instead of moving on and starting from zero every day, your past contributions keep working for you. It's a complete structural transformation of how data labor is rewarded. Looking at these side by side, the contrast is honestly pretty stark. In the old reality, your knowledge just disappears into the void after a completed task. It's ephemeral. It's wiped the second you hit submit. But in this new paradigm, your knowledge transforms into a growing digital asset directly tied to the value it helps create. Guys, this isn't just some minor update to a user agreement. It is a fundamental redefinition of digital work. You aren't just trading time for a one-off payment anymore. You are converting your intelligence into an actual asset class. By tying the asset directly to the value it creates in the real world, the system finally acknowledges the ongoing, long-term utility of human intelligence. Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway from our source material today. By giving you a true stake in the process, it creates a much stronger alignment between contributors and the AI networks they help build. Now, why does this matter? What should you take away from this? Well, alignment is literally everything in system design. In that old disposable model, there was inherent friction. You just wanted to finish the task fast to get paid, but the network desperately needed high-quality, super accurate data. But when you add fractional shares and compounding value into the mix, boom, suddenly your interests are perfectly aligned. Because you're an owner now, you genuinely want that asset to be top tier because you benefit directly from its long-term usage. This doesn't just create a fairer economy for you, it inherently builds way stronger, higher quality AI networks from the ground up. As we wrap up this explainer, just take a second to think about your own digital footprint. We've traced the journey from the frustrating cycle of disposable labor to the expansive possibilities of the ownership economy. We've seen how tracking data as an on-chain asset can perfectly align human incentives with the future of AI. So I'll leave you with this final provocative question. Knowing that your data is going to keep training AI and generating value for years to come, are you going to keep settling for disposable labor? Or are you ready to actually own a piece of the intelligence you build? You can start exploring this new reality today at app.kadata.io. Thanks for joining me to unpack all of this. Keep questioning how your contributions are valued, and I will catch you in the next explainer.